3.2 Solving System of Inequalities by Graphing. Today's a fun lesson, so grab your colored pencils or crayons or something if you have them, because we get to color on a graph a little bit. Every time we see shade or inequalities, we know that we have to shade above the line, below the line, right? So what today's lesson is going to be about is taking two equations, or remember what we call a system of equations, right? And graphing the two. And your answer, so there's two steps here. Step one, graph the inequality and shade the correct area. Step two, identify the region that is shaded for all inequalities. This is the solution. So again, what does that mean? That means your answer is the shaded area, the common shaded area. So let's look at the first one. Y equals y is less than or equal to negative 2x plus 5. So less than or equal to, you should shade below and a solid line. Okay, so let's start at 5, go down 2 to the right 1, so up 2 to the left 1, solid line, and y is less than, so it's all down here. Now, you should be using a pencil for this, because now we have to shade this one. Y is greater than negative 1/4 x minus 6. So greater than, we're going to shade above the line, and we're going to have a dotted line. So here we go. Negative 6 is down here. Go up 1 to the, down 1 to the right 4. Up 1 to the left 4. Could even go again. Okay, make this line dotted. And y is greater than, so it's all up here. Okay, so what is our answer? Our answer is the shaded area that has both colors. So I'll use a different color to make sure it's nice and visible, especially on your homework. If you're not using two different colors, you need to make sure that area is nice and visible. So where I'm shading in orange is my answer for this problem. Let's go to the next one. Okay, for this one, y equals x is greater than or equal to the absolute value. Now, remember with the absolute value, you have to do h and k. So in order to do h and k here, I'll just keep with orange. My h is 0, my k is 0. So my vertex for this one is 0, 0. I have y is greater than, so I'm going to shade above the line and equal to, and I'm going to have a solid line. All things you should be able to write down when just looking at something like that. So let's keep going. 0, 0, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. So I have a solid line. That looks like that. Again, make sure we should be using graph paper. It should be accurate. All that good information. Okay, let's keep going. Y is greater than. So that means above the line, which means above the V. Let's go to our next one. Y is less than 4/3 x plus 5. So less than, you're going to shade below the line, and you're going to have a dotted line. So start at 5. Oops, I made it too dark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right there. So up 4 over 3. Up there, down 4 over 3. We're going to make that line dotted. Okay, for this one, y is less than, so it's all here. Okay, so you can see where blue and gold is. Hey, all my colors, yay. You can see where blue and gold is, but if you still want to know the answer, I'll do it in purple. My answer is just this little portion of the graph where the blue and the gold are. Okay, we don't do much in the three-figure ones and the a system of equation ones. We'll look at those a different time. But there is one word problem I want us to do. It's this time management one. I would put a huge star next to this. This is definitely something that's seen on a test. Okay, we've tested on questions like this before in the past. So just hint, hint, wink, wink, put a big star and make sure we understand this. So here we go. Ramir uses his spare time to write a novel and to exercise. He has budgeted 35 hours per week. He wants to exercise at least 7 hours a week, but no more than 15. Those at least and no more than are really important to us. He also hopes to write between, really important, 20 and 25 hours per week. Write and graph a system of equations that represents the system. Okay, so let's first go back. What are the two things he does on his spare time? He writes a novel, let's make that X, and he exercises, let's make that Y. Okay, so X, he writes a novel, X, he exercises Y, and he budgets 35 hours per week. Okay, so there's going to be an inequality. It says right here, this has to be inequality. So can he work more than 35 hours? He has budgeted 35 hours. So again, you want to always ask yourself, can I work more than 35 hours? In this statement, no. Can you work less? Yes. So this is less than or equal to. All right, let's go to he exercises. He exercises at least 7 hours. Okay, exercises Y. So Y at least. Again, ask yourself, we have only two options, greater than or less than, right? So at least, are you going to exercise 7 hours? Can you exercise 8 hours at least? Yes. So greater than or equal to, because he could do 7 hours too. 7. Let's keep going. But no more than, so he doesn't want to go higher than 15. Okay, so he exercises and he doesn't know more than, he doesn't want to go higher than 15. So less than or equal to 15. Now we could rewrite that. You can write it like this in two equations, or you can write it, and we always take the smaller number. 7, if you read it kind of from right to left, 7 is less than or equal to Y, which is less than or equal to 15. Either one of them will work. All right, next thing let's talk about, they talk about the novels, right? So he wants to write, so our novels is X. He wants to write between 20 and 25. So 20 is less than or equal to X, which is less than or equal to 25. So really, when we're looking at the three equations that we're going to graph, you would graph this one, and you would graph these two. Okay, so let's look at these equations. The graph that I put right there is not going to work. So let me bring the graph over kind of on the right-hand side. Okay, I'm going to go by 5s just to make this graph kind of big enough. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Okay, and I'm going by 5s. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. And again, I went by 5s. Okay, let's first graph, let's graph the blue, right? So what's going to end up happening here is when you graph this, you're going to have a common shaded area with all of this. So, I'm sorry, there's two blues. Let's do this turquoise one up here. we need to get y by itself. So it's y is less than or equal to negative x plus 35. So if I'm all the way up here at 35, I'm going to have a negative slope, okay? And I have a solid line. So I'm going to have a negative slope. I know I'm not making it accurate, like down one over one, but this negative slope is good. Okay, and y is less than, so you're going to shade underneath here. All right. Okay, let's do the blue one. Let's do this blue novel. Okay, so y is 7, so here's 5, so we'll make this 7 right here. So you have a solid line going through there. And then at 15, 5, 10, 15, here's 15. You have a solid line going through here. And you're going to shade in between those, right? He's doing it in between those lines. Okay, and lastly, let's do the purple. Your x's at 20. It's going through there, and at 25. It's going through there. Oops, wish that line was straight, sorry. And you're going to shade in between here. Okay, so where's my answer, right? Let me do it in, we'll do it in yellow. Okay, my answer is right in this area, and it's coming up in yellow. Okay, that is my answer of the shaded area. So if I would say a great homework question would be, what combination of hours of workout or exercise and the number of novels would work? Well, you would pick a point in between this yellow shaded area. So you could say, if this was 20 and this is 25, right? You could say 2310. 2310. Okay, so but what is that in the words that we're working with? 23 novels and 10 hours of exercise. Okay, again, why did I get 2310? Because it fits. 2310 fits in here. It's about right here. Okay, so again, you can pick any combination, but that's what we're looking at there. So this is the lesson for 3.2. Have fun coloring.